This episode brought to you by the following patrons: Heather, Min, Jason, Madeline, Alyssa, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Kristen, and Tia. But because it's that special time of the month, I get to shout out our You Can Get It level sponsors, and they are Figroll McGee, Ghislaine, Vanessa, Heather, Kathy, Nikki, Knitting Menace, Spooky Lime Pie, Renee, Grace, Sean, Dr. Voorhees, MD, Amelia, Aaron, Irene, Naomi, Bex, Laura Lubu, Cameron, Kaylee, Unintentionally Badass, aka Jennifer, and Isaac. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group, where we'll be talking about Sleepy Hollow daily this week.
Every time somebody's head got cut off, I just had the intrusive thought of hearing Christopher Walken's voice like, ouch.
I don't care for spooky things or spooky behavior, to quote Amy Poehler.
Any time in the beginning where he was like on the horse, like, ouch.
Ow.
My sword.
I do kind of hate that, like, because he doesn't have a head, we don't get any, like, iconic Christopher Walken lines.
He never really speaks.
I mean, how funny would it have been if he had, like, burst out of the tree and you just heard, like, wowie, wow, wow, or something, like, insane.
Ouch.
Paige, we've got to start. We haven't started the podcast.
Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
And I'm your Horror Virgin Todd, which means I don't like scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. And this week, I literally mean you guys, because this one, the listener request for November, and this movie is Sleepy Hollow. So, Paige, was this the first time you saw Sleepy Hollow?
It was. I knew about this movie.
Really?
Yeah. I'd never seen it before, though.
It was my first time, too,
okay.
Obviously.
Uh-huh.
But I assumed you had seen it because you're a girl who is, like, a little spooky.
Yes.
And that seems like a Tim Burton lane.
It is, and I do enjoy much of Tim Burton's work.
Yeah.
I did go to his exhibit at LACMA. It was great.
I hear it's on Tim Burton Lane. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I do enjoy Tim Burton quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy Johnny Depp as much, and so I was not immediately drawn to this film. Also, this was in 1999. I was kind of too young for when this came out.
Fair.
Because in 1999, I was only 12, and I was super into other stuff.
Yeah, you were like, Christina Ricci is a blonde? I'm out.
I have so many thoughts about Christina Ricci in this film.
That's one thing that Natalie said. That's the reason I brought it up. That's the one thing that Natalie said. She was like, I don't think I like Christina Ricci as a blonde. And I was like, I didn't even notice that with Christina Ricci.
I mean, yeah, I would say blonde is maybe not the best for her skin tone, but specifically the blonde that they used for her in this film.
It makes her look washed out, but
yes.
I mean, so does Johnny Depp. Like everyone, it's just like the Tim Burton vibe.
Well, it's the gray of that era. There was a solid 10 years where all our movies were kind of gray.
Yeah.
Blame 9/11? I don't know. But yeah, we had a gray period. Like Picasso's blue period, but it was just America's gray period.
But our gray period came out right after the hit Babylon by David Gray.
There you go. I mean, that is actually accurate time-wise.
Around this time, and there was a period where he was kind of famous over here.
A little bit.
But Paige,
yes,
I have to admit something to you. This is the first time I saw it too.
Okay.
But the movie to me felt like I was like listening to a drunk Sherlock Holmes explain badly the plots of Cinderella, Hamlet, and then Don Quixote for no reason.
Yeah.
So naturally, I kind of loved it. Like it was insane. No, Paige, it's fully insane.
It's
and
crazy.
I like Tim Burton too. I don't love everything Tim Burton does, but I think he's really good. I mean, you don't give Tim Burton the budgets you give Tim Burton if he's not a Tim Burton. You know what I'm saying?
He's got the vision, for sure.
The guy knows how to make movies too. Like the first Batman slaps. It's not as fun as this.
True.
Or as insane. When the, I guess the wicked stepmother's sister, the witch in the woods, more or less.
Correct.
When her jump scare is revealed and like the 3D snakes and stuff.
It's Large Marge.
Yeah. I kind of laughed. at that moment.
I laughed my ass off. Spoiler, my favorite Tim Burton movie is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
As it should be.
By a country mile. Not that I don't love Nightmare Before Christmas. I do. I absolutely do.
How could you not?
The music is so good.
Danny Elfman did the music in this too.
Correct.
Not enough singing from him though, if I'm honest.
Not enough. But here's my thing about, well, I'll let you finish your first thoughts and then I have like a weird TED talk to go on. But yes, I laughed. There were multiple points where I laughed in this movie when I think it thought it was being scary.
I will say the initial jump of it did make me like flinch, which is like how my body reacts to every jump scare. Like I
Sure.
knew that was coming and my body just does that because it's like it hates horror movies. But I laughed when she like got up her snake eyes in Ichabod von Scissorhands' face. It was hilarious.
Yes. It was great.
Also, the fact that Ichabod von Scissorhands' bag is 20% things and 80% contraption.
Correct.
It makes it so it lifts up out of the bag so he just doesn't have to reach into the bag.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I kind of loved it.
All right, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of loved it because from like a cinema standpoint, I can see everything he has.
Sure.
Even though he's only using one thing, and you don't have to like get a shot of inside the bag.
Right.
You know, and it's just like a very steampunk kind of cool way to do it, but it did make me laugh until it became a plot point at the end.
Right.
When he blocks the
With the
sword with the casing of whatever the expandable shelving in his bag was. It made me laugh so hard that I was like, God damn, that was Chekhov's bag contraption, I guess.
There's like 14 Chekhov's items in this movie.
I know. Paige, another scene I was incredibly glad for was the one where they expected Johnny Depp to use an axe, but it never explained to the actor Johnny Depp how to use an axe.
Yes.
That shit, I lost my mind, Paige.
He looks so confused.
He used that axe in a way that if I had used that axe at 8 years old, my granddad would have been like, I'm worried about that boy. He's odd. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
I don't know how else to say it.
Yes.
But that's what Homer would have said. And yes, his name was Homer.
It's one of those things where it's like, sir, you've seen someone use an axe on TV or in a movie, right? Like,
I know, right? That has to have been a choice. Unless Johnny Depp was raised in a cage. Like, there's no way he didn't see how someone used an axe.
I think it's either that or I think the axe is fake and therefore the weight is off and he didn't quite know what to do with that. I don't know.
They kind of paint him as a city boy from 1799, which to me is okay. Yeah. Okay, he lives in maybe the biggest city in America at that time, probably.
Sure.
But it's still 1799. So, like, he probably does know how to procure and cut wood.
Yeah.
Because electricity hasn't really been invented yet.
Or at minimum, he has seen many people do it.
Yeah, and he's also seen a spider before. Anyway, so I thought that was like a choice in the movie.
This is my thing with this movie. I'm not a huge Johnny Depp fan in general. I feel like sometimes he tends to play these roles in almost kind of a slapstick campy way that doesn't necessarily fit the movie. I think it works really well in Pirates, but the difference with Pirates is that he has a straight man to play off of. So he's kind of the side piece. He's not the main person you're following. And in this movie, he's supposed to be the straight man until we get that kid who's smarter than everybody. And he kind of loses it as the movie goes on. Like when we first meet this man, he is quirk central.
Yeah.
Of like, he's got all these contraptions that look like they're made out of spoons.
He's just steampunk.
And he's just like, let me at them dead bodies.
Yeah, he's just steampunk, Paige. That's all it is.
He's just steampunk.
I do love that you are now officially on record as saying Johnny Depp better as a side piece, guys.
I mean, and here's the thing. It's not just that it's steampunk. All his contraptions are steampunk, obviously.
Yes.
It's his, like, he has these kind of interesting vocal tics and weird ways that he kind of speaks. And he's like pulling faces at the camera and everything. And it's just odd, especially for a movie where no one else is playing it that way, right? Like in Pirates, you've also got a whole cast of characters of pirates with wooden eyes and shit who are just like, aye, aye. And you're like, yeah, it's all crazy in here. But in this movie, he's like the only one who is acting kind of like a human that used to be a Muppet and hopes people don't find out. Like that's kind of where he's at. So you've got that going on. But then you have this movie that takes an incredibly long time to tell a very simple story. A very simple story that is like so ingrained in pop culture that if you don't predict the end of this movie by the end of the first few scenes, I worry.
Paige, can I maybe be a little vulnerable in this moment?
Sure.
And I will say, I for sure have seen the like cartoon version of this, right? Like the kids version
Sure,
of
course.
this. I've for sure seen that
Yes.
15 times at least as a child.
Yes.
I had no idea what was going to happen in this movie. I wish I was joking.
No, that is totally fine. Okay, now here's what I will say. The second I saw Miranda Richardson, I was like, it's her. She's either pretending to be the haunted horseman or she's a witch controlling the haunted horseman. And that's what's happening in the movie. And then they were like, she's the stepmother. I was like, definitely her.
How did you know? Okay, hang on. How did you know it was the evil stepmother that was it based on the actress when the actress was not Angelica Houston, Paige?
I mean, Angelica Houston would have also been a dead giveaway.
She's the villain in Ever After, famously.
So Miranda Richardson, I'm a huge fan of Miranda Richardson. I find her hilarious. And honestly, she is a way better comedic actress, I think, than she is dramatic. But that's how she's cast in this movie. She in Blackadder was Queen Elizabeth.
Oh my God, that's Queen
Yes,
Elizabeth?
that's Queen Elizabeth. And she has this like wonderfully psychotic version of Queen Elizabeth where she's like, nice and childlike, but I'll chop off your head if you make me angry. And it's so fun, right? But then every time after that, and I think it's just because of how her face looks, it's just her face. She's always the villain. I think the only time I've seen her not be the villain is Queen Elizabeth, who is sometimes also the villain.
Yeah, she kind of villainy.
Yeah, she's just incredibly typecast. And also, anytime they cut to her in this movie at all, she's like glaring to the side at someone. Like, it's so blatant. It's crazy.
It's literally on the screen.
It's literally on the screen. And then this is also a case of like, there was a thing at the time that this movie came out of like, let's take a literary character and make them steampunk and also CSI for some reason.
Right? I don't remember that being a part of the Sleepy Hollow narrative.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. But they did it with Sherlock. They did it with this. And so I'm like, so there has to be a twist. The easiest, most clockable twist is that it's stepmother trying to get everybody's inheritance. And that's why she did it. Now, I thought for sure for most of the movie, she was dressed up as the Headless Horseman. But then when they uncovered that there's like there's like a blood tree full of heads.
Yeah, like it's real. Yeah,
Right.
I was actually kind of surprised by that because the whole beginning of the movie is like Johnny Depp coming in locked and loaded with his like, guys, spiritualism is dumb. Y'all need to think rationally for once. And everyone's like, nah, you're crazy. Spiritualism is the shit. And then it becomes, oh no, spiritualism is the shit. That's
It's
actually
real.
happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I also love that he's like, I believe in reason. Yeah, my mom was a witch. What about it? Because like we see his nightmares with his mom. And then I also, at that point, I'm like, I saw Goody Proctor in the woods with the devil. And I was like, we're dealing with witches. Clearly. And also Christina Ricci, clearly a witch.
You can say Ouija.
So then when they're like, hey, there's a bloody tree full of heads and Christina Ricci is here and discovered it with you and seems also surprised that there's a bloody tree full of heads, I was like, and stepmother.
Yeah.
Evil stepmother's a witch. Classic fairy tale trope. And also, when she handed him that book of spells, it was like, it'll keep you safe. I was like, bullet.
Yeah, keep it close to your heart. It'll keep you safe,
Keep it
is what
close
she
to your
says.
heart.
Yeah.
Bullet.
You knew that book was Chekhov's bullet.
I knew that book was Chekhov's bullet. But then here's the thing. So there's all these things that like me as the audience, and again, I am overly informed as an audience member. It's very possible that most people didn't see this and be like, that bitch looks spooky. I bet she's the villain.
Oh, yeah.
But there are multiple times in the movie where people learn information that should drive them to act. Like it is solving the case in front of them.
Yes.
And then they do full nothing about it.
They just leave the evidence in an unlocked drawer. Yeah, I was like, what are we doing, guys? We know the riddle. Like, we're good.
Or they see the stepmother doing blood sex magic in the woods and are like, weird, she's got hobbies, right? Like, they just don't. And then they like encounter her as a witch. She's got the skull. And then they go on a long chase. And I'm like, y'all are running away from the only thing that will stop this, which is the skull.
I know. When the stepmom goes to the windmill, I was like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you just let the guy handle the job? It's pretty much Terminator.
Right.
So, like, you're fine. Then just, I guess, give him his head back or whatever. But, like,
I think somebody at a certain point was like, click, 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 action. And then they run past the wind and then they drag him through the forest. And then they're like, fuck, the skull. And so they have her show back up at the tree conveniently with the one thing that could defeat her.
Yeah. Hey guys, I brought the thing you needed with me. You know, that famous villain move?
Yes.
Where I bring the one thing that can kill me? Yeah.
Yes.
I brought it with me.
Yes.
I mean, when has that ever happened before, Paige? Oh, you mean Lord of the Rings? Guys, why bring the ring into battle? You're an idiot. You deserve to die.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this movie, it's a little simple, it's a little predictable, still looks very cool, ooky spookies for sure. And also, ouch, Christopher Walken is the villain who doesn't have any lines.
Can I say, I bet I know that you're, and you mentioned this earlier, you're like an over-informed viewer, probably because we do this for a living.
Correct.
So you probably also were a little bit offended because they cast Jeffrey Jones as the Reverend. I was like, what is happening, guys? How on the nose is that?
I was gonna bring it up when we got to him in the movie.
I guffawed out loud when they introduced him as the Reverend. I was like, what? No, sir.
This was 2 years before his first charge.
Yeah.
Basically. So like this movie comes out and then months later is the first time he gets caught in a sting with child sexual assault materials.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking awful. But then also when he's, like, with the stepmother and they're having sex in some sort of weird blood ditch, I just went, fake news, as I was watching it.
Yeah. I was like, stepmother? Doubt it.
Doubt it. Yeah, and that did impact my viewing of this film where I was like, isn't that...
Yo, I was so happy Van Trussell shot his wig off at the end. I was like, thank God.
Yes.
But Paige, from a like random citizen of Sleepy Hollow's perspective, this movie is just fully about a time that pasty white cop from the big city moved to town. A bunch of people died, and then that city boy went back to the big city, married to the collective wealth of my town.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a carpetbagger movie from that perspective.
I was going to say, yeah, it's a little hot fuzz for sure.
Right?
Right? But it's also, if we were to distill the reaction of everyone else in the town into one scene, it's a scene in True Blood where the vampires end up walking out in the day for reasons that are too long to explain on a podcast. And one of the like nosy neighbor characters in town watches her neighbor walk out during the day and catch on fire. And she just goes, oh, I knew it. But it's just the nosy neighbor being like, oh, yeah, that's why all the heads were getting cut off. I knew they were up to something. I saw Goody Proctor in the forest and she was dancing with the devil. But then when I went out there, some goat offered me butter and I was like, what is going on here?
And also, yes, it's like $17.99 and you have butter. We're best friends.
I mean, we've had butter for a long time. As long as you have cows, you can have butter. But wouldst thou love to live deliciously?
Right? Paige, maybe you and I should go through scene by scene deliciously as we talk about Sleepy Hollow.
Let's do it. We get 2 drops of what looks like blood. It will turn out to be sealing wax, but this movie wants to be like, spooky, like right off.
I want to get like a really nice like wax letter kit.
Yeah.
And like build like a crest or whatever.
Yeah.
And then have a stamp. I want to do it all. It's going to be cool as shit.
It's so fun to... I have done this, Todd. It's incredibly fun to do.
I would send it through the mail if they'd let me. I don't know. I would imagine they would. Even if I have to buy like one of those like UPS like little boxes or whatever to put them in.
They do. You just have to put them in like another envelope around it.
I totally would. Totally would do that. I'm going to start sending people mail that looks like the invitations from the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes. You got to start tying them to pigeons.
Someone opens a box like, why is there a dead pigeon in here? I don't think Todd understood the instructions. What's tied to its paw?
Just a note that says, ouch, dead pigeon.
It's spooky behavior.
It's spooky behavior. I kept it in my ass. Anyway, what they are wax sealing is a last will and testament for Mr. Van Garrett, who it is implied passes away.
Yeah.
That will then gets taken onto a carriage where a headless horseman hunts them down and slices off the head of the carriage driver, but also the man inside taking the will to wherever. And he does have a cool jack-o'-lantern as a head for a bit. I don't know why he doesn't keep that head. That head's way cooler than a regular skull.
I honestly thought that this might be telegraphing that guy who had the jack-o'-lantern head in the middle of the movie chasing Johnny Depp.
Right.
I thought it was going to be revealed that he actually killed these people because of that jack-o'-lantern. but it wasn't.
It was not.
But he wasn't using it. It was just on the scarecrow thing.
Yes, he picks it up off the scarecrow.
Yeah.
We then cut to New York City, I almost said 1979. Way different movie.
Just Johnny Depp like, they never saw me coming in here in these hot streets.
If it was New York City 1979, it would just be Al Pacino's cruising. And I'd watch it too.
I would.
New York City, 1799.
Similar vibe to 1979, except a lot more horse poop on the road.
Right. In 1979, you mean?
Yeah. It's weird how that happened, but yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. But we meet Ichabod Crane, who is essentially 1799 CSI, where he's like, looks like we should cut this body open. Wow!
Oh, yeah.
Just pulling off his steampunk goggles.
I did kind of love that, like, everyone on the police force hates Ichabod Lame because he's the only one who thought to ask why anything happened, not where everything happened.
Yes.
He's like the only cop who wants to do a job,
Yeah.
and they hate him for
They
it.
hate him for it. They're like, do you know how much paperwork this will be?
I know, right? I was like, man, this is kind of like every cop movie I've ever seen, though, kind of, you know? Like,
It is exactly the same in Hot Fuzz of like murder. It's a small town. Nobody gets murdered except that it's New York City.
Yeah.
Very different vibe. But it is portrayed as they don't want to do paperwork. It's basically that John Mulaney bit of like, we found a puddle of the killer's blood. Gross. Wrap it up. Like they
Exactly
just don't do it.
It is exactly that, yeah. The police chief that like relegates him to Sleepy Hollow, really just to get this goody two-shoes know-it-all out of town, this asshole who wants to do his job. Like,
It literally is Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Where they send him out to the
Paige, I
country for the
know.
same reason.
yes. It's okay. So they find a body in the river, more or less.
Right.
And he's like bringing it in. And the police chief is like, just mark it up as a drowning. And he was like, it might be. I mean, I want to open up the lungs and see if there's water in the lungs, because then it wouldn't be if it wasn't water in the lungs. And the guy's like, nah, we found him in the river. It's a drowning. Shut up. Get out of here. Stop trying to do your job.
But what if he has cement shoes?
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah. And so they kick him out of town, more or less.
They kick him out of town. And essentially, Christopher Lee is like the police chief of like, get the hell out of my office.
Yeah. How dare you investigate?
God damn it, I'm sick of your shit.
You turn in your wood badge and your musket.
Yeah. You turn in your saber and wax sealing kit, and you turn in your bag full of contraptions. Anyway, he goes to Sleepy Hollow because they're like, look, they've got murders there out where we don't care about it. So why don't you go over there and solve that shit? Or as I have it in my notes, I hereby sentence you to adventure.
100% that, yeah.
So he sets his bird free. Sad times. And then gets in a carriage and goes to Sleepy Hollow. And during the trip is when we get credits.
Which I liked because it's a part of the story and it does show like the travel, even though you're going from like New York City to upper state New York.
Right.
It takes a while because you're like with a guy in a carriage who's driving the carriage. It's like, that's it.
This is also the first place we get a look at his scars on his hands.
Yeah.
That he will claim to not remember how he got them. He's just always had them. We will find out how he got them later in the movie.
Yeah, he remembers. They recover the memories.
Yes. And then they write a book about it, causing the satanic panic of 1806 or whatever.
It's called Ichabod Remembers, guys.
Yep. Just in case you're a satanic panic nerd like me, The Devil You Know podcast series that's out right now has a whole episode on Michelle Remembers.
Oh, yeah?
That is fucking fascinating.
I bet.
Anyway, he shows up to this town that is very dreary, but clearly has a neighborhood watch of like sharpened stakes and like a guy it's the kid's dad, whose name I forget at the moment, but like he is doing the changing of the guard. So he's going to be essentially the neighborhood watch for that night.
Yeah.
But he is, we will find out, a servant of one of the wealthy families in the area.
Yeah.
So he shows up to the Von Garrett house where they seem to all the affluent people in town are having a party because it turns out they are all what? Related.
Yeah, it was funny. Like when they showed up to this, I thought it was a tavern at first.
Me too.
Because it's like a huge party vibe. I was like, okay, So Sleepy Hollow population everyone in this room, apparently.
Right.
Because the town's not that big, and there's like 75 people there.
Right.
I was like, good God, how many people are in this town?
I was really hoping for an old-timey Wicker Man, like naked lady song, like pub vibes like that, or like American Werewolf in London, just like, don't go on the moors at night. That's where the headless horseman is. But no, they're just like, Thanksgiving.
They're just like playing like party games. Katrina's blindfolded and she thinks she grabs like her boyfriend or at least a guy from town.
Brom.
Yeah, Brom. And so it's Johnny Depp. So she kisses him and then we now have Braun von Butthurt to deal with the rest of the movie. But like, that's what we get. We don't get more fun, naked, singing Wickerman vibes.
We don't. What we do get is the first time that Christina Ricci's character makes me uncomfortable. Because here's the thing. I don't know for sure how big the age gap between her and Johnny Depp is. If you want to look that up, go for it. But I will say the styling of her character, even if she was an adult as an actress playing the role, she is stylized as a teenage girl and not necessarily an old teenage girl. We're talking like 16 max. And he's a full-ass adult with a job with the police force.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable the entire movie, especially because, like, at a certain point, they've only been in, like, 3 or 4 scenes together, barely interacting, and then they're having this, like, I know you have feelings for me, and it's like, what? What are you oh, no. Like, what? No.
So Christina Ricci was probably 19 when she filmed this.
Sure.
And Johnny Depp is 17 years her senior.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, God, I don't like that at all.
Neither of them cast this movie, so I'm not blaming them.
No, I know. Of course, no. That is an to the person who cast it.
Yeah, I do think they're supposed to be playing a little closer in age, although I think she's supposed to be playing younger, like you're saying.
Yeah, I clocked her at around 15, 16, and I figured he was at least mid-20s.
Yeah, I thought like 27, 28.
Which is not good.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, yeah.
And I know it's a different time. I get it, but they made this movie in 1999. We're watching it in 2025. Look, when we made this in 1999, we didn't have to make these choices, okay? We could cast other people. We could not have it be a romance. There's so many things that could be.
And honestly, there's not really much chemistry between them at all.
Zero. It's really not pleasant. Anyway, she's like, yeah, you got to go talk to like my dad and stuff. So he goes into like the study where it's essentially all the like male leaders of the town.
It's the prominent dudes around town. It's the rich guys of the town. Yeah.
Yes. And it's the like priest, it's the notary, it's the doctor, and it's this guy who's like, oh, I'm just a rich farmer. Wink, wink. I'm everyone's landlord. Right.
Yeah.
And he's the Rick Caruso deciding things because he owns buildings. And so, like, they're clearly having a very kind of terse discussion about what's going on. We will find out later that they actually probably did not know about the plot.
Nope, but they're all about to be dead.
And who should walk in but stepmom? And I was like, Miranda Richardson, there's our villain right there. This lady that's eavesdropping on all these men, absolutely, it's her. Black dress, even though she's married, definitely her.
Could you not do that? Could you not wear a black dress when you were married? I guess that's mourning back then. You wouldn't do that unless someone died. Okay.
Right. Well, and I mean, you might if you were of a very strict religious sect that did not wear bright colors, but they are rich. So they're not Puritans. Or if they are, they're very affluent and taking advantage of the town or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of late for Puritanism.
They're prosperity Puritans, Paige. Like, it's cool. Yeah.
They're affluent landowners, and her daughter is in, her stepdaughter, pale pinks and like these very delicate lace. All of that would be expensive. So yeah, later she's in like a purple that is kind of more fitting or whatever. But like,
sure.
Yeah, the fact that she's like skulking around in black dresses for the first half of the movie, I was like, I'm sorry, but no.
I'm going to go with the Ursula figure as the villain.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Poor unfortunate souls with heads I keep. They come flocking to my tree and it is full of bloody heads. Do I help them? Yes, indeed. Anyway, so Johnny Depp sits down with them and is like, Yeah, so I'm here to investigate the murders. It's clearly somebody murdering people, and he's chopping their damn heads off. So who's seen what?
I do love that while he's saying that, like the guys, the prominent dudes amongst town are looking at each other like, does this motherfucker not know about the headless horseman myth?
Does he not know?
And then they do enlighten him of the situation around town.
Yes, but not before I was like, is that Jeffrey Jones as the priest? Hilarious.
That's when I guffawed, when they introduced themselves, and I was like, Reverend!
Reverend! But they kick into the history of the Headless Horseman. He was a Hessian mercenary from the Revolutionary War, at which point I started doing some maths, and I'm like, so less than 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, that's our ghost? Is less than 20. I mean, I know that like the original story, that is kind of true, but like, it's weird that we're setting this so close, but whatever. I immediately forgot all of that when Christopher Walken is revealed to be the Headless Horseman.
I'm just going to say he looks a lot like what Johnny Depp looks like now.
That is accurate. That is so accurate.
Famous, better off as a side piece, Johnny Depp, as Paige says.
Yeah, he's got his teeth. He kind of looks like the vampire in 30 Days of Night, where his teeth are all like sharky.
Yeah, all points. They say he filed them down. Like that was part of his tactic.
How long did that fucking take, man? Gotta have better things to do with your time. But he has no dialogue. He's got crazy contacts and shark teeth. And he's just like, as he rides around chopping heads.
Yeah. Honestly, you had to get rid of his voice in order for this movie to work. Like his head is kind of the Mercutio of the movie.
Right.
Because if his head remained in the movie, it would be about that guy who has Christopher Walken's voice and demeanor taking people's heads.
My horse.
Yes. Yeah. I also want to point out when they're doing this flashback scene where they're explaining where he comes from, that he gets chased into the woods by, I'm assuming some soldiers, right? And then eventually gets killed and then beheaded and then put in the ground.
Not until after two basically shining twins in the middle of the forest snitch on him.
Yes, by snapping a branch. Yeah.
We will find out who they are later. But my first thought when we come upon those girls in the forest was like, they don't have no coats. I was like, those babies are going to freeze to death. But then we find out who they are later. And I'm like, maybe would that have been the worst?
Maybe had they not had to suffer through that rough situation, she wouldn't become a sociopath.
Correct.
Like destroyed her town. I'm just saying, yeah, there is a cycle here that maybe we can prevent other ways than just murdering children.
It's absolutely a villain that like until she gets to the part where she's stealing all the heads in the town, you're like,
victim.
She's got a point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
She took it a little too far.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Did she have to take all the heads? I mean, I know people love head, but this is ridiculous.
Right? I was like, I get it, man. I also love head, but like this is to have a tree full.
A whole tree? How's your heads? I haven't had any complaints. But he is beheaded and he is buried. So is his horse.
Oh, yeah. They actually show, hang on. I'm so sorry. His horse gets shot as they're chasing him.
Poor horsey.
Dead horse. The horse is dead.
Yeah.
He gets chased into the woods. They shoot him. They bury him. Then we see the horse still alive.
Yes.
Digging him up with his paw.
Good horsey.
So that is a dead zombie horse digging up the Headless Horseman.
Zombie horses. What a fun Western that would be.
Oh, man.
Got the first 30 pages for you right here. And my horse friend and co-writer is going to count them out for you. Clop, clop, clop. But yeah, the horse is alive. But we cut back to them telling the story and they're like, we buried the seed of evil. And I was like, ew, seed.
I know. I was like, I didn't like that at all.
In a movie that emphasizes heads so much.
I know.
Anyway, so at this point, now I think this is actually kind of interesting where the Reverend is like, the only book you need to read, man of science, to solve this case is the Bible. Now, admittedly, that Bible has a family tree in it that is a very valuable clue.
He's right, but just like a broken clock is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it has numbers in it, and the numbers are how many people have slept with their cousins.
I thought you meant the book numbers. I was like, oh, God, we're going deep on the Bible.
No, but it does also have the book of numbers.
It does have the book of numbers in it. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
That's one of the Bible books. Anyway, so he's like, I'm still pretty sure that someone is murdering people. But as this is happening, the guy that was out for the neighborhood watch starts to hear like all the sheeps from the field run in.
And then we see deer.
Yes.
But the deer come after the smoke comes out and puts the fire out. It's really cool. It like does a great job of like building the suspense and like the impending dread and like the creepiness, like creeping in. It's cool. It's done real well.
It does until they put the horse sound in. Because it's almost the exact same horse sound as young Frankenstein, where you're just like, oh, Frau Blucher.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It sounds less like a horse neigh. It sounds more like you like tickled it.
like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but if he was a horse.
The Pillsbury Dough horse, Paige.
Exactly. So the Pillsbury Dough horse comes running and takes that guy's head, leaving his poor, very seemingly sweet son an orphan.
Yeah. Don't worry. He's about to be a servant again. It's fine.
Brutal.
I felt bad for this guy.
The next day, we cut to the next day, they're giving Johnny Depp a horse named Gunpowder, and literally someone else from town rides up and just goes, murder! There's been a murder!
Paige, have you never met a town crier? Come on.
Ding, ding, murder! Ding, bring out your dead. Yeah. One of those. But so they go to investigate the body, Sans head. And then he does something so weird because he like goes to investigate to look at the body and he just pours a bunch of chemicals on the ground and he's like, it was one singular thrust. And you're like, what?
For a second, Paige, I thought to myself, wait, are we dealing with an Ed Kemper?
Oh, yikes.
I'm not going to explain that joke, but if you get it, it's gross.
If you get it, you watch too many documentaries.
Or you've seen Mindhunter. But there's no way you could pour anything on the ground and it tell you how many hacks it took to hack off the head.
Right. Now, you could look at the neck skin and be like, because he looks at this one and is like, cauterized it after he swiped that head smooth off. Great. But like, if it was kind of raggedy, you could be like, maybe he had to hack at it a bit.
What you do, Paige, is you look at where the skull was severed and you count the rings.
There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just eat it and be like, I'm done licking to the center of this head.
Gross.
Gross. Anyway, this is where we learn that the sword is hot and cauterizes the wounds so they don't bleed.
Yeah.
That's going to be important later. But we meet that guy's orphan who's like, hey, I want to basically help you avenge my dad's death. I don't have any family. Can I join you? And he's like, yeah. Go sleep in the servants' quarters. I'll call you when I need you.
I love that he was like inviting this child to be his servant to someone else's house. Yeah.
I did also find that humorous. But then I think it's the magistrate.
It is the magistrate. Yeah.
Yeah. The magistrate that comes over and is like, hey, there were actually 5 victims and 4 graves. Wink, wink. And I was like, okay, so the one lady victim was pregnant. It takes them 10 minutes in movie time to determine that the lady victim was pregnant. Like, I was like,
Paige.
What else could he have meant by that? Like, what? Why'd you dig her up?
Paige, how loudly did you cackle when they revealed that not only did the horseman take the pregnant lady's head, he definitely got a BOGO. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I cackled. I laughed out loud. I was like, wow, he had to take that one too?
Yeah, both of them.
How'd he get it out?
I don't know that he did. It looks like he just stabbed in and was like, you can keep that head. I'll just take hers. But like, but I'm like, he would need the head like Predator. He needs the skull.
Exactly. He has every other head. And it made me very upset that horses don't have rear view mirrors.
Wait, I'm sorry. Fucking what? Fucking what?
Where would the baby head be if not hanging from a rear view mirror, Paige? How dare you?
Let me ask you a plot question.
Now's the time. For sure, now's the time.
What if the horse had a backup camera? No, I'm kidding. That baby is, I believe, Von Tussel's kid, illegitimate child.
I think it implies it has to be because there's a reason they had to kill it, right? Yeah.
That's why they killed it. Yeah. Just making sure we're all on the same page because the movie doesn't actually explain that shit to you.
But also that baby's head, new car smell. So like it's a win-win.
Oh, perfect. You could put it on some erector set spider legs like that thing in Toy Story.
Oh, baby head.
Baby head. That's got to be the coolest one in his collection because, okay, the Headless Horseman looks goofy the entire movie.
Put baby head on the Headless Horseman. Hang on.
Yes.
Mini Headless Horseman. Yes, Paige. Get him, baby head.
Tiny baby head. But I want it to be like the Teletubby like baby that's in the sun. The one that's just like, and that's the only noise that the Headless Horseman makes. Because clearly the Headless Horseman is just someone who's wearing like a box so that where their head is Now the shoulders sit on top of where their head is. That's why he's
Right.
super tall.
Yeah.
But because you don't move your shoulders the same way you move your head, it just looks insane because his movements are very exaggerated because he's moving his head, not his shoulders.
His torso is also 30% longer than it should be.
Yeah, yes, with a cape.
Yeah.
But one way to fix it, smiling baby head.
Come on, baby head.
Come on, baby head.
Honestly, if it's baby head, I'm rooting for baby head. Like, there's no way I'm not like, oh, snatch them domes, baby head.
Fuck these villagers.
I know.
Oh, okay, baby head, but with Christopher Walken's voice?
Yes, but as a baby.
But as a baby.
Mother, I need some pull-ups for my mission.
Milk.
Yeah.
Bluey is on the TV and goldfish crackers is off the rails immediately, and I love it.
It's not even that late.
I'm so tired that I've been up so anyway. But yes, he should have worn the baby head.
Yeah.
For the camp of it all. But no. And they take 10 minutes for Johnny Depp to be like, she was pregnant. And we're like, we know.
Paige, he has to go dig her up first. And then he has to go to the doctor's office and kick everybody out of the room so he can, quote, experiment with this headless woman's corpse. I was like,
Ooh.
Nobody knows this dude. He got here yesterday. I would not leave him alone with my neighbor's dead corpse.
Yeah. Well, and there are people who know she was pregnant.
I know. He could have just asked somebody else.
He has spoken to them.
Yeah.
Could have just asked.
He could have just gone to the tavern and been like, hey, did you hear that lady was pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Confirmed.
Cool,
All right,
cool,
we're
cool,
good.
Cool. Which is, I mean, we waste 15 minutes of screen time on something that we're just like, yeah, okay. Like, we know. Like, what? And this is not the last time this movie will do something like that.
No.
Anyway, we cut to him walking home and the frogs sound like they're calling his name. And then across the bridge, the seemingly headless horseman appears. But this will turn out to just be Brom and his friends. And then we immediately kick into like Ichabod goes home and has a weird dream where this is the first inclination we get that his mom is a witch.
Yeah. But it is like, he does think he gets chased by the headless horseman. But this is the one where you have like the jack-o'-lantern for the head, right?
Right.
Or no, he's holding it.
He's holding it. But he could have put a baby, like a tiny pumpkin.
Well, this is like Brom von Butthurt. It's not actual. It's not our hero baby head, right?
Right.
So like he just like chases Ichabod down and then throws a green goblin like lantern at him and then runs away.
Right. So after that weird dream, he wakes up and he's staying with the Von Tussles.
Yeah.
And so he goes out into like kind of the living room where Christina Ricci is reading, and they have this kind of, I guess, meet cute again, where they're talking about books. And this is where she gives him the witchcraft book. And she's like, keep it close to your heart and it'll help you like avoid harm. And I was like, homie gonna get shot through that book like immediately. Right. But we cut to the next day. She takes him to the cottage where she and her father used to live before he became everyone's landlords. And she does ask him about his hands and the scars that he has. And he's like, I've had them ever since I can remember. And at the cottage, she does some of this drawing in the fireplace that his mother used to do. It's our first kind of inclination that she is also a witch. We also see that there's a metal portion of the fireplace that survived that has an archer on it. That'll be important later.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the movie will remind you. You don't even really have to remember it. But he shows her the little kind of like optical illusion of like the bird in the cage when you spin it and it looks like one singular image.
Yeah, because it's one image flipping over and over and over, right? It works the same way like a cartoon book works.
Right. But as they get back to the house, all of the men of town are arguing in the house and they don't really know what they're arguing about. Ta-da. But the magistrate comes out and Johnny Depp kind of follows him as I believe he's leaving town, where he's like, I'm out.
I think he's getting the F out of town. Yeah, I think so too.
And Johnny Depp kind of follows him and is like, hey, you knew she was pregnant. I still dug her up and cut her open anyway, but like, you knew she was pregnant. What happened? And he's like, I had to handle like some of the affairs with it. The doctor knew she was pregnant because he had to examine her. We all knew she was pregnant, but I won't tell you who the father is. And he's like, but why did the horseman kill her? And he's like, I don't know. The horseman kills anybody, but he has this talisman that keeps him from the horseman.
Yeah, I thought the talisman was very funny though, Paige.
Yeah, because he's like holding it up and then his head gets got like immediately.
I thought it was funny because it wasn't a Christian cross. It was an Egyptian ankh.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, that's like so historically inaccurate. Like
yes.
Christians didn't know about that until Napoleon. And I realized Napoleon was at this time, but like that's France.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't popularized over here until like the 1960s.
Well, yeah, it's very Benny from The Mummy.
Yes, it is.
Of just like, I'm trying anything that works.
Yeah. Well, I think it's supposed to be a cross.
A cross would have made more sense.
Because the ankh looks a lot like a cross from the bottom half of it.
Yeah.
But the top, and I think this is why they used it, the top is like a big circle kind of.
Right.
And so it works really well on a necklace. So it like,
yes.
But it's not a cross, it's like an Egyptian symbol. It's like, it's so funny to me when movies do this.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I'm also like the only idiot who notices it.
I noticed it too, where I was like, why he got an ankh? But I was like, whatever.
Like that predates Christianity by 1,000 years. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Right. Anyway, the horseman comes. He doesn't care about the ankh. He just slices that dude's head and then stabs it to take it. But this is where essentially Johnny Depp's character sees it for the first time and is like, oh shit, it's real. It's like super real. And he passes out. He does have another weird dream about his witch mom.
Yeah.
Witch club president, his mom, where she's like levitating and like has a bunch of like symbols and all kinds of stuff. But then she gets put in the Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Sick.
Which is a torture device, not the band. Like she wasn't
Damn
like
it.
the new lead guitarist in Iron Maiden.
Okay.
It was like a terrible, terrible torture device.
But how funny would it have been if just one of these times they're like, I'm so sorry about your mom. They put her in the Iron Maiden. And then we just cut to his mom just shredding on guitar.
Bruce Dickinson hitting the high notes, just like loving it. Like, yeah.
Yes.
I'm waiting in my cold cell. And she's over there just like jamming on the guitar. I love it.
Yep. Anyway, he wakes up and he's like, okay. Everyone thinks he's like out, that he's going to go back to the city. So they're like, do we take him back? Is he dead? Like, what's going to happen? He pops up and he's like, all right, we got to go to where they buried that guy, because I feel like that's the only place we're going to find answers. We got to go to the Western Woods or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he's like, who's with me? Nobody but that one kid who has to avenge his dad's death.
Who's technically a servant.
A servant that he puts in front of him the whole time.
He uses him as a body shield. I was like, damn, that's a real
Yes.
like Musk vibe right there.
Woo, yes.
Except this kid's way older than when Musk did it.
Yes. But we hear a woman chanting from a cave, and it turns out to be a witch. Now, I do think this is really interesting that she chains herself to the table.
She knows what's going to happen.
She knows what's going to happen. She's like, when the dark spirit comes out, this will keep me from attacking you.
Yeah.
And she sends the child out. But she basically goes full Large Marge of like the twisted burning wreck, like eyes, like snakes, whole thing. And she just basically is like, you got to go to his grave because... And she doesn't give him a reason. She's just like, go to the grave, dog.
It'll explain it at least.
It won't. It won't explain anything. It'll just be a tree full of heads. But who should show up after he comes out? But Katrina, a.k.a. Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're all going to the pet cemetery.
Kind of, yeah. Except it's not a pet cemetery. It's, the Hessian's grave.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Tree of the Dead. And they're like, how will we know what tree it is? And they're like, I think we'll know. And they walk up on it and they're like, oh, is it the one covered in blood? Yes.
Oh, is it the unspeakably evil looking tree? Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
Guys, that's the one. You found it.
That is it.
Do you mind if I take this axe and hack into it in a different kind of manly way?
Yeah. A different kind of manly way. Yeah, that's what the old wise woman told me. And I know that she's the old wise woman because she's very old and very wise. So
she's actually around the same age as the stepmother. It's a plot point.
Yeah. And weirdly, they kind of look alike. You can't tell because of the veil, but you're like, I see a lot of blonde and angry eyebrows going on here.
Well, they're sisters.
Yeah. Sisters.
There were never such a witchy sisters.
Never had to have a tree full of heads. I'm gonna take your house when you're dead. Sharing, caring, all the creepy veils that we are wearing. When my snakes came out my eyes and told the truth, I grabbed an axe.
And then killed you.
And then killed you.
We got to stop this retelling of White Christmas.
But with these witchy sisters.
Yes.
Anyway, they see all the heads and they're like, oh no. And as they're like looking at the heads, they kind of like find the grave.
Yes. The tree is like in a hill. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
There's like a part of the trunk that is exposed that becomes a tree gina here in a second.
Right.
And then there's like a hill up to where the grave is, which is marked by the sword, by his sword, the headless Hessian horseman's sword, which is hard to say,
Right.
is like the grave marker, more or less.
Right.
And so that's where they find it. And he digs it up. And this is where he sees, oh, someone's got his head because it's not there.
Right. Exactly.
And so he immediately knows that whoever has the head controls the beast, which is a pretty big, I'd say, leap in logic for someone who was like a rationalist as a plot point.
Well, and I think it's two things, because he notices that the headless horseman didn't kill him, it just killed the magistrate. So he knows that it's picking and choosing, it doesn't kill at random.
It does that next too.
Yeah, and it does that next too, because it comes out of this scary, terrifying tree and then goes and kills the midwife and her family because she knew about the baby and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's not next. I was thinking of the Brahm kill.
That's
because
next.
he's there with it and it just stabs him out of the way.
Yeah, that's later.
Yeah, you're right.
But this is where, and we see it brutally kill the midwife's entire family, including her child, which is brutal.
When it busts in the door, kills the husband almost immediately, then, gets the wife, and then the wife had hidden the child under the house, like Inglourious Bastard style, kind of.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, great. The kid's going to be fine because the headless horseman's walking towards the door. And then it stops, turns around, and takes its last prize. I was like, good God, that's effective.
Oh, yeah. It is brutal.
Yeah, it claims that lost head.
It does. But they have now chased it back to town. And so this is where Brahm confronts it. And then he and Brahm are fighting it. And it originally doesn't want to fight them. It stabs Johnny Depp, but it cauterizes the wound so he doesn't bleed out. He doesn't really need medical attention.
Yeah.
But then he slices Brahm in half.
Yeah, he comes down with a bad case of been cut in halves.
Yes. But he then wakes up to Katrina basically making him a decoction of some sort of like a bunch of different herbs and stuff. And I'm like, which?
I don't know. She says Nosferatu like 5 times while she's casting the spell. I was like, I don't think that's, well, whatever. I guess it can mean whatever it means to the witch, and that's fine. Like, it's not like a structured thing, so okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird when she did tell Macbeth that he would eventually be the next Thane of Cawdor, but like, that's, beside the point. She clearly a witch, and everyone's like, her? No, she's just nice, which I think is really funny. But he then wakes up and is like, hey, it doesn't kill at random and it's missing the skull. So whoever has the skull, that's the person who controls it. And everyone hears him say that and they're like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, is it?
I know, right? Like, I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, you were the ones that were telling him it's this spiritual, like crazy ghost headless killer. It's weird that you're now like, I don't think that that's what it is, guy.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with him being a literal demon from hell, but not this. Not a coherent revenge plot.
Not that one of us can troll him because we have his head.
Right.
That's a pale too far, friend.
Exactly. But he then passes back out and has nightmares about his own mother's witch trial. So this is where we see the Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And he kind of sits back on a chair that has spikes on it. And that's where he got them on his hands.
Yeah, we see his hand go on one of them. Yeah.
Right. And he wakes up and he tells Katrina, he's like, my mother wasn't innocent, but she was condemned and murdered by my father. So we've got a full Scarlet Letter subplot going on here where his father was the priest secretly and then killed the essentially proof of his adultery. There you go.
Yeah, so was his mom a witch or was she just like an inconvenient to a powerful man woman? You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it. I think she's a witch just because she does levitate that one time. But other than that, toss up.
I mean, that could also just be magical realism because that's like a dream
True.
that child had.
It is dream logic.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any silver orbs or a giant man that then occasionally becomes a lady and then goes to different planets with like mustards. So I wasn't sure if it was dream logic.
What are your dreams like?
Mostly phantasm. But
Apparently.
he then wakes up after A, having nightmares about his mom, B, being like A plus B plus C equals skulls, and is like, I was wrong. I was delusional. There's got to be a rational explanation. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, what?
He's seen too much for it to be a Scooby-Doo kind of reveal. Like, you can't rip the headless off of him to reveal, like, the town crier from the first scene. Like, it's got to be spiritual. Like, it can't be, you know what I'm saying?
You got to get yourself an aluminum bat and knock that baby head off like a T-ball. That's the only way to be sure.
Baby head! No, baby head! Not baby head!
You got to point at the outfield and then knock that baby head off like a T-ball.
Ichabod Crane calling a shot. It's just like...
Oh, and it's going. It's rolling across the grass. No one else is playing.
Yeah.
But this is where he's like, you've bewitched me and I have love for, and I'm like, you've spent 3 scenes together and she's a teenager, you fucking creep.
Believable, though.
For the time. Yes.
I just mean the way he plays it. I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand this guy is a weird guy.
Yep. He then goes back to sleep. When he wakes back up, her stepmom is there, who was in the room and heard everything.
Yeah.
And she's just like, hi. Yeah. No, about that. Katrina went to go to sleep. So what was that about the skull?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm doing? Are you aware?
Anyway, he then, she leaves. He gets up because his servant boy is now there instead of her. And he's like, there's a conspiracy. He looks at the family tree and he's like, they're all related, which means if this person dies, this person gets their land, but then it has to be next of kin. So he concocts a full like idea of whose land is going to belong to who.
It's a Pepe Sylvia floor is what it is.
Yes.
He's got like everyone in the town's name and he's like putting them into piles based upon who they're related to. So like he's building like a hierarchy of wills.
Yes.
So like if you die, this is where the money goes, and he's like chasing the money more or less.
Oddly enough, it is also Hot Fuzz, because in Hot Fuzz, he's like, cousin Sissy was going to get your land, so you didn't sell it to the developer so that you could keep the land and have the town be the like most beautiful town and whatever. It's the same plot. But so he thinks he knows who it is, and he thinks it's Katrina's father, and just leaves that evidence laying around in that guy's fucking house.
Yeah, in an unlocked drawer that people saw him put the evidence in, them knowing it was evidence against his, like, their dad.
Right. And then we find the symbols that she's drawn under his bed. Does he have a book to look up what they are? Of course.
It's close to his heart.
Yeah, it's close to his heart. Does he bother?
No.
No. He assumes it's an evil spell. So at this point, I was like, how are there 37 minutes left in this movie? We have solved the case, or at least are close enough.
I thought we were, but we don't. Like, he is not right at this point.
He's not right, but I already knew he was wrong.
Right.
And I was like, he about to find out that it's the stepmom.
Because my stupid ass is over here like, how's there 37 minutes less in this movie? It's the guy. We found out it was the guy. We know it's the guy.
I knew it wasn't. And literally this very next scene where it's 37 minutes, they follow the stepmom out into the woods where she's banging a dude and wiping blood on him. And I'm like, see?
Yeah.
And they're just like, gross, and don't think anything of it. Do nothing about it.
I did think that was very funny that Johnny Depp like walks up on it and is like, I can only watch this for 30 or 40 more seconds before I leave.
Right.
And then he does, after 30 or 40 more seconds, leave.
Bye. But then as they come back, the ledger is gone and she is burning the pages in the cottage. Basically, she has taken out the parts of the ledger that implicate her dad.
Christina Ricci, not the stepmom.
Christina Ricci, yes.
Yeah.
As we come back from the cottage, they're like, hey, they're about to have a town meeting and they think you're chopping heads. Like, I know that makes even less sense than your whole skull stealing thing, but like, you know, you might want to get out of town.
This is the scene where I was like, oh, maybe it's not Christina Ricci's dad.
Right, because he tells him to get out of town.
Yeah, well, and Christina Ricci already said to him, my dad wants you to get out of town. And in that moment, because we're not seeing her dad say it, it sounds more ominous.
Right.
So I really kind of like that made it seem even more like it was him. But when you actually hear her dad say it, he acts in such a way that you're like, oh shit, he is like genuinely concerned for Ichabod Crane.
See, I thought he was playing it off as like, you should probably leave. And then like when he leaves, he'd be like, got rid of him.
Oh, I thought he was like, well, and he doesn't know. He does not know what's going on because he's an idiot. But he was being genuine. He's like, you got to go. They're speaking against you at this meeting. So Johnny Depp is like, well, I better go check this out.
Right.
That would be like the Beast strolling into when Gaston is like gaslighting the town into going to kill him.
Yes.
That's kind of what Johnny Depp does in this movie.
Yes. But Christina Ricci's dad takes the stepmom to go pick flowers because she's not feeling great and she has a cut on her hand from banging that other dude.
Right.
We see the headless horseman ride up on her and it is implied that she dies.
Yeah.
We will find out later that the dad ran away so he never saw if she actually died. There's a body, but...
Yeah, he bravely ran away. He's like Sir Robin.
Bravely ran away.
Yeah.
But... he comes running up to the church where the meeting is that for some reason Johnny Depp has decided to go to.
It all descends into pandemonium pretty quickly because they're like ringing the meeting bell, like to call people in to come to have the meeting. And then that's when the horseman comes out and like it all goes down before the meeting can even commence.
Right. But everyone piles into the church and they're like, he can't get into the church. So as that's happening, there's also guns. A bunch of people have muskets and handguns or whatever. And like the remaining men, because the magistrate's dead, of the town are like, you had a plot to get the land. No, you had a plot to get. So they're all accusing each other. And essentially, two of them end up dead because they're accusing each other. And then a third one, the headless horseman cuts out a fence picket and then harpoons that guy out of the church.
That's Christina Ricci's dad. So he can't throw a weapon in because he tries to throw his axe in.
Right.
And it like dissolves or whatever.
It disintegrates.
So he has to break one of the white picket fences, like one of the picket in the fence, I guess. And then he, I guess, ties a rope to it.
Yes.
Throws it. It goes through the second story window into Christina Ricci's dad. And we get his reaction to it going in. And before he gets sucked out, but after we get him starting to react to it, I really wanted for them to drop in, get over here. Like it's Scorpion, but Christopher Walken doing a Scorpion impression.
That was the worst Christopher Walken I've ever heard.
You do it. You do one. Hold on.
I can't. It's not going to be any better.
Get over here. That's more like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't do impressions. It's terrible.
Get over here.
Get over here.
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 But he grabs that guy back through the window, drags him out, takes his head.
Yeah.
And at this point, Christina Ricci's like, oh my God, all my parents are dead. I'm the only one, like I'm inheriting this. She faints. And we reveal that she was drawing in chalk on the floor and it is a protection spell.
Yeah.
But of course, does Johnny Depp look that up? No. He's just like evil witch and doesn't bother to look at the book that she handed him 2 acts ago.
Yeah.
But while she's still passed out, he's like, I should go. I don't really want to get involved with her witchcraft. And so he like tears the pages out of his ledger where he had written her name and doodled like he's a teenager.
I thought that was such a weird reveal.
It's so creepy.
I thought at first it was going to be like her doodles or whatever, but it's very clearly his doodles of her.
It's very clearly him.
Oh, man.
Like he was in math class, like Mr. and Mrs. Katrina.
Yes. Yes.
Fucking nuts.
Mr. and Mrs. Ichabod Van Tressel.
Yes. But he burns those pages and takes off. But of course, he looks at the book in the carriage and realizes it was a charm of protection.
Specifically for people you love.
Yeah, for people you love.
Yeah. So it's like the ultimate guilt you can feel.
Yes. But he's like, wait a second. Then who's controlling the headless? What? So he rides back to where they have her parents' bodies. Why? There's no way he should have put this together. But he did. And looks at the hand of the stepmom and realizes it hasn't bled and it hasn't healed, which means that it's a wound that it was given after death, essentially.
They kind of set this up too in the first kill that he witnesses at Sleepy Hollow, because he says the only reason to take someone's head is so you can't identify him, but you guys know who this is.
Right.
And that's what the stepmom does with Sarah.
Right.
Because she kills Sarah, takes the head so they don't know it's not her. That's why she cut her hand.
Right.
And he figures that out because when the cut on the hand doesn't have any bleeding from it, because the body was already dead when that was done.
Right.
It was a really cool foreshadowing. I liked it.
Yeah, but he then is now in a mad dash to get to Christina Ricci because who got there first? Her stepmom. And she's like, oh my God, stepdaughter, you look like you've seen a ghost. She passes out, faints. They go to a windmill. Why?
No, literally no reason.
No reason.
And also do the dumbest thing you could do to a windmill, which is to climb to the top of it and then set the bottom of it on fire.
Yes.
I was like, Johnny Depp, you're a moron.
But literally, we're only here so that the stepmother can be like, it's I, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. Like, to have her speech of like, and then when I was little, we were landlords, and then my father died, and then your father kicked us off our land, and then, or I guess the Van Garretts kicked them off the land.
Yes.
And let your father live there. And he was very prosperous, and especially after the Van Garretts died. So you took our house, and then our mom took us into the forest and taught us witchcraft, but then she died. And so then we were two little girls in fancy dresses just roughing it in the woods, and we watched them kill this Hessian guy. And even then I knew as a child, I was like, Satan, so help me, I will bring this guy back to life by stealing his head and make him kill my enemies. And 20 years later, I finally figured out how to do it. So here's the head. Now you know what it looks like and where it is. It's definitely going to be the one thing that can kill me. Don't worry about it. I'll take it wherever we go.
Yeah, please don't take it from me.
Right. I'm just going to set it on this table and hope you stay there, right? Like,
it's like she forgets that that's what saves her life. Like that's what protects her and controls the thing. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Madness. Anyway, she takes a piece of her hair and is like, all right, it's your turn tonight. The headless horseman's going to kill you, and then I inherit everything because you died. Then I'll be rich and I can live in whatever house I want. Perfect. So the headless horseman comes. They all climb to the top of the windmill and light the bottom of the windmill on fire. How? By dropping a lantern down on bags of what? Never explained.
But it does pop like popcorn at one point, and that weirded me out a little bit.
I was like, is it manure? Is it straw? Is it sand? Like,
it's in like bags.
It's
so
in
I don't
bags.
know. You don't really see it, but it does go up like it is somewhat flammable. So
like gunpowder, basically. Yeah. But so they ride the windmill arms down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're like, did we kill him? Did we kill the headless horseman? And finally, Johnny Depp is like, well, he was dead to begin with.
Yeah, guys, he's been dead this whole... Are you not paying attention?
Right. Like, that's the whole problem, basically.
Christina, meet me at craft services. Hang on. Did you not read the script? Like, yes, he's been dead the whole time. And they're like, we know, smartass, but like, is he still coming after us?
Right. So then at this point, they wait for him to come out of the windmill. Like they have a whole conversation. Instead of just fucking running, instead of like, hey, we got to find your stepmom because she's got the skull and that's the only thing that can stop this.
Right.
No, they wait for him to come out of the windmill. And then we have a 10-minute long chase scene in the opposite direction of where the skull is. And the one thing that would like solve and help this. And they just ride. Eventually they end up back at the death tree full of heads.
Right.
And who should show up but stepmom being like, ha ha, I've got the head. And it's like, bitch, what?
Just go take a bath with the head and let the man work.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? You are the most micromanager ever. Let this man work.
Yes.
She gets killed because she's a bad boss, ultimately. That's what I learned.
Right. Well, and she shoots Johnny Depp, but of course he's got the book, so he's not actually dead.
He's fine.
But he uses that kind of distraction to grab the skull and throw it to the Hessian, who puts it on his head, and then his skin and everything grows back around it. And he catches that skull like a cereal commercial, like it's Wheaties, and he's just like, yeah, my Wheaties make me strong. I'll replace my baby head. He puts the head on, it grows.
Rest in peace, baby head.
And then this is my favorite part, because he now doesn't really care about killing anybody because he's got his head.
He's got his head back.
He's got his head.
It's like a Snickers bar when you're hungry. If you're angry and you get some head, you're probably not going to be as angry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the stepmom is unconscious from the stealing of the head. And he picks her up and puts her on the horse. And she kind of comes to as he's riding back towards the tree. And I was like, oh, wait, can she go through the tree? Can she? And then we get a scene much like Violent Night.
I thought the same thing, yes.
Where he pulls John Leguizamo through the chimney and he just becomes like a pink mist.
Yeah.
She basically rides through the tree and is just like, and just is like a splash of blood.
She's like folded in half and ripped apart. Yeah.
It's hilarious, except for her hand that's very in a come hither motion.
Yeah.
And then we cut to New York City, where they have essentially him, Katrina, and the servant boy, who is still a servant boy, apparently.
I know. I was so bummed for him at the end of this movie. Like, he did everything Johnny Depp did, but backwards in heels. And now he's still carrying Johnny Depp's bags.
Yep. But they end up in New York at the dawn of a new century in a dress that I love. And that's the movie.
So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, Paige, what did you think about Sleepy Hollow?
I want somebody to edit some clips together with Christopher Walken's voice over the Headless Horseman.
Owie!
Ouch. I'm sure this already exists. I'm going to go scour YouTube to find it. But other than that, I don't really need to see this one again. It's funny, but it's kind of slow and it's not fun enough to be like crazy, if that makes sense.
I don't know, man. Like, they don't do like Babyhead. Babyhead would be crazy.
Babyhead
and I would have loved
crazy.
it. Don't get me wrong. Like, that would have been amazing. It would have made the movie way worse, though. But, like, I would have loved it. But I think it is the right amount of nuts. I probably won't seek it out again. But I watched this on Pluto because it was free. I sat through the ads. It was fine. Natalie informed me that we owned it on DVD, and I was not upset about that revelation because I'd happily watch this with her again and just laugh because it is kind of silly. Like, there are some silly, funny moments in it, and it's not that scary.
Yeah, it's not really scary at all.
Also, Paige, he has his sword every time he's out of the tree, right?
Yeah.
Every time we see him in the same location as the tree, he has both his sword, and his sword is also marking his grave.
Yes, at all times.
That is a huge continuity issue for me.
And it happens multiple times, too.
And it would be way cooler if he came out and then performatively went over to the grave and took the sword.
Yes.
But no.
And then the sword, because it has all the vines and everything on it.
Yeah.
But if he took it and then it was like new, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Or it like unsheathed. The sheath is vined into place there.
Right.
And he returns it to the sheath with the head blood on it. Anyway, I did kind of like the movie. It does have its issues and it's crazy, but it's like kind of fun. I didn't hate it. But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, hit us with your fun facts.
Sleepy
Headless
Hollow fun facts. So Johnny Depp actually adopted Goldeneye. That's the name of the horse that played Gunpowder in the movie. Because he heard that horse was going to be put down. And so he adopted it so it could live out its horsey life in peace. Now, the idea of a headless horseman, as far as like an urban legend or a myth, actually dates back to the Middle Ages in Europe, largely in Celtic and German folklore. However, Washington Irving's Headless Horseman is the most famous in modern pop culture. Most areas of the United States, even at the time of the story's publishing, had their own stories of Headless Horsemen. Washington Irving's is said to be inspired by the headless body of a Hessian soldier, basically renowned sharpshooters and horsemen, who was found in Sleepy Hollow, and the real Van Tussle family buried him in an old Dutch burying ground in an unmarked grave. So there you go. That's where a lot of that lore comes from.
Fair enough.
Johnny Depp found the idea of Christina Ricci being his love interest in the film to be rather odd, considering he had known her since she was 9 years old. They first met on the set of Mermaids in 1990, and Johnny Depp was dating Winona Ryder at the time, I believe, of this movie when they were shooting it.
Okay. That's probably why there's not a whole lot of chemistry between them.
Yeah. Historically, in the story, Ichabod Crane was supposed to be a very unattractive man. If you've seen the animated version, that's why he has kind of very exaggerated features.
Yeah.
Now, Johnny Depp loves a prosthetic, but Tim Burton wanted to base the character on Crane's more unattractive personality traits and the squeamishness and eccentricity that seems to be present in the story. And so they opted not to go for the physical transformation. And that is, I think, why Johnny Depp is playing this a little campier. I just think it doesn't necessarily come off as squeamish and eccentric as much as it comes off as kind of like slapstick a bit.
I agree.
Without someone to balance him. At the start of filming the three-way axe battle with Ray Park, Johnny Depp, and Casper Van Dien, who plays Brom, broke his index finger on his left hand, and it was extremely painful, but he didn't tell anyone because he didn't want his part cut short, so he finished the filming day.
Oh, I mean, good for him, but that sucks for him.
It does.
I understand making that choice, though.
Yeah. In the original story, the Hessian lost his head due to a cannon blast, as opposed to it being cut off.
Okay.
And it's not linked to any specific battle, but just an unknown battle of the Revolutionary War. The fake forests were built on sound stages. You'll notice they run past many trees that look the same.
Yeah.
However, by the time they wrapped filming, the trees had become infested with bugs and birds that had flown in through open windows, etc. And the sounds of birds in the movie are often real because they could not find or get rid of them.
That's so funny.
Tim Burton also included scenes as an homage to Disney's animated version of the Sleepy Hollow tale, which is featured in The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad from 1949. If you don't know this about Tim Burton kind of got his start animating and working for Disney.
Yeah.
So he does have a lot of love for Disney lore, even though their relationship was not always great. So these include the scene in which Ichabod Crane crosses the covered bridge and hears the frogs croaking Ichabod and Headless Horseman, and the following chase sequence where Ichabod is run down and unhorsed, allegedly by the Headless Horseman with a flaming pumpkin, but this obviously does turn out to be the men from town.
Yeah.
Additionally, the scene in the chase where he ends up on the Headless Horseman's house, he ends up on the Headless Horseman's horse backwards. That was also in the animated film as well.
It did kind of feel like a cartoon at that point.
Yes. The entire town was built from scratch, complete with rooms, floors, and stairs.
Wow.
Both on location in some cases and also in large sound stages, and was completely dismantled after filming completed.
Damn. Okay.
Christina Ricci has said in an interview on the Rosie O'Donnell show that Christopher Walken was very shy and quiet and didn't talk much. And so the cast members had a competition over who could get him to say the most words. And Miranda Richardson won by making him answer a lot of questions. As we mentioned, this film is very gray, as were many films at the time. It was shot largely through a blue filter. So for blood to appear red, the blood they used had to be neon orange.
Wow. Okay.
I'll end on this one. There's a lot of fun facts about this. If you're a Tim Burton nerd, you could definitely go into, nerd out on this as much as you want, but we have limited amounts of time. But I'll end on this one that I think is really funny. The scene where Ichabod sees a spider crawling along the floor of his room was improv because, quote, "We always seem to have spiders and bugs on the set, although I don't quite remember why. But every day there was a guy there with bugs. So one day we just decided to use some."
What?
End quote.
Why do you have a loose bug guy on set?
I have no idea. The only thing I can potentially think is that Tim Burton maybe wanted bugs for the aesthetic, like a spider you could put in a window or something like that. And so they had a bug guy, and one day they were like, hey, we haven't used enough bugs.
Somebody get Jeffrey the bug guy.
Yeah, those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Sleepy Hollow in 1999?
I think this was actually probably very expensive in 1999 because you've got famous people in it. You've got them building sets from scratch. It's Tim Burton. I bet this was a $60 million movie.
Okay, Paige. It was a $100 million movie.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This looks good. I would never say it doesn't look good.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It looks incredible, but 100 is a lot.
It is a lot. If you adjust for inflation, Paige, it's almost twice that today. It's $194.9 million today. Largely because trickle-down economics was a huge success. So, Paige, This movie came out the weekend of November 19th, and it was number 2 in the box office the weekend it came out. It was beat by the number 1 movie, which was The World Is Not Enough, which you'll, of course, recognize as a Bond movie. Yeah, and then Sleepy Hollow was number 2. Pokemon, the first movie, was number 3, and number 4 was The Bone Collector, and number 5 was Kevin Smith's Dogma. But Paige, what do you think Sleepy Hollow made in its opening weekend?
It probably made a lot, but I'm going to say this probably makes about $26 million opening weekend.
You're close. It was $30 million.
Oh, okay. That was my second guess. Would have been like 30, 35. So yeah, all right.
It's a pretty good guess. So it was number 1 in its first week. It was number 4 in its second and third weeks. It was 6th in its fourth week. And then 9th, its 5th week, and then never again in the top 10. But it was in theaters for 24 weeks, so it was a while. What do you think it made domestically at the box office?
I bet this makes Probably $98 million.
Very close. It made just over its budget back at $101 million. Now, it also made $105 million internationally for a total of $206 million, which, if you'll remember from earlier in this segment, was a little bit more than 2 times its budget. So it definitely was a successful movie, obviously. It may not have made as much as they wanted it to, but I'm sure it made money in theaters and, of course, went on to make money after that. So that's your box office. But Paige, do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Sure. Our scary scale is a scale of 1 to 10 of how scary we found this movie today when we watched it, with 1 being Ghostbusters and 10 being Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd, how scary was this for you today?
It was a 2. I only jumped 1 time, and then I laughed immediately because it looked like Large Marge.
Yeah, it did look like Large Marge. For me, this is a 1. I did not jump at all,
Fair.
but I did laugh at Christopher Walken a lot.
Yeah.
And that's your scary scale.
Well, this week, Paige, the listeners made us watch Sleepy Hollow. What are we going to watch next week as we push into a new month?
A new month. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a new movie out starring Oscar Isaac and the Green Goblin. And we're going to watch it because it's on Netflix. And that is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein. We're watching Frankenstein.
I'm actually looking forward to this. Like, every time we've done a Guillermo del Toro movie, even the ones I haven't loved, they've been beautiful movies.
We've done a lot recently too.
Yeah. I think it kind of kicked off with Crimson Peak on Romancing the Pod.
Yeah, because we did Shape of Water and yeah.
Yeah, but he's an amazing filmmaker. Even if you don't love the story, it's beautifully told. You know, it's like the shots and the sets are amazing. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to it. But that's your homework for next week, guys. So check out Frankenstein on Netflix.
Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week, I'm going to read a Spotify comment from our most recent Thanksgiving episode. And this one comes in from Kira, and they say, "How did you know my stripper name was Rebecca Kale in the 90s? I don't know why I found that so funny. A lot of people really love to have a Joe K on, and we'll have Joe K again. We love Joe. They're amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, so thank you so much for that comment, Kira. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast. Some might call it a sister podcast called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies, because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter, because you got that before some CEO lady and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And guys, we got a P.O. box. So if you want to send us some love letters or whatever you might send to a P.O. box, it's actually not a P.O. box. It's like a regular street address. It's pretty awesome. It's 6688 Nolensville Road, number 108-34, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. So send us some stuff. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ookie spooky.
Yeah, have an amazing week, guys. Bye! This movie was fun in a cool way, nerds!
Hey, this is Lauren Ash. I'm primarily known as an actor. You may have seen me playing Dina on Superstore or Lexi on Not Dead Yet. But did you also know that I have a true crime podcast? That's right. I host True Crime and Cocktails with my cousin, Christy Oxborough. She is my best friend in the world, my cousin by blood, sister by life, and she is a fantastic true crime researcher. We've been doing the show for 5 years, and we cover a different case on every episode. We're also kind of known for our signature banter that we do in every episode. A lot of people talk about how it's like listening in on two best friends just having a chat, which is kind of what it is. We like to cover a variety of crimes. Like I always say, true crime doesn't always mean murder. We do heists, we do scandals, we do all kinds of things. So come check us out. New episodes of our award-winning podcast, True Crime and Cocktails, are available every Tuesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.